What's up, Eager to Pleasers? Welcome back to another episode of the Eager to Please podcast. Thanks to our friends and supporters at Fresh Starts Registry joining us today to talk about the importance of listening and why feeling heard matters is transformative listening strategist and founder of Seacoast Listening Lounge, Erin Snow. Erin, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to hear more about this very cool concept of the listening room. But before we dig into that, I'm curious how you got connected with Olivia and Jenny.
Yeah. Hey, Natalie. So great to be on this show. I'm really excited for the conversation. Oh my gosh, how did I get connected to Olivia and Jenny? So I just decided one day to start this business. And I'm like, how do I do that? Who do I need to talk to? My background is in legal advocacy, doing divorce parenting cases with domestic violence victims. So people who knew that I had done that type of work, they were like, oh, you have to get connected to Fresh Starts. I'm like, what is that? And they told me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been doing divorce work for about 17 years. How did I not know about this?
Yeah.
Like this would have helped my clients so much. So incredibly grateful to be connected to them. They are wonderful humans. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing is such important work and, you know, taking the stigma away from divorce, which the stigma still exists.
Yeah.
And saying, hey, look, we've got you. We've got people who can support you and you're not alone in this. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. I want to be part of that.
Yeah, sign me up. Exactly. I know for sure. I feel the same way about them. They're both gems of human beings. And I'm glad that I'm glad all of us are now connected because, you know, it is important to have that support there. And people who don't know that it's out there, at least the word is slowly getting out. I feel like they're a force. So
yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
In such a short amount of time too. I mean,
exactly.
Was it 2020, 2021 when they launched? Somewhere around COVID, I think.
Yes. Because I remember them saying, you know, 4 or 5 years. They've been out 4 or 5 years now. So yeah. It's great to see them take off. So, well, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so grateful for the introduction that they've made between the two of us. And, you know, now it's your turn to be in the spotlight. So I want to dig into this idea of the listening lounge and how the idea was born.
Sure. Okay. So the funny story is I'd gone, not funny going through a divorce, but
right.
The funny thing was after that, I was watching Sex and the City again. And I got really pissed off. I was like, who has these friends that can just meet in a coffee shop? This doesn't happen. It certainly wasn't my real life. Like, I don't have friends that I can just like unload everything on and they all have time and they can all meet at a coffee shop. So I was like really pissed off about this when I came up with this idea. But the backstory really is the work that I had done previously at New Hampshire Legal Assistance, advocating on behalf of domestic violence victims and survivors in their divorce and parenting cases and protective order cases. And in my many years doing that work, what I heard so often was that, Erin, nobody's listening to me. I am telling my story. I am screaming my story. I'm telling friends and telling family and they don't get it. They turn me off. They tune me out. Like nobody is hearing me. And I understood that. I understood it because I lived it every single day and saw the struggles that they were going through, but I'm a survivor myself. And I was like, okay, like, yes, this happens where you feel silence, where you feel like you're going to be judged. Like you don't want to talk about things, but you do want to talk about things and just navigating who the right people are. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
And oftentimes you feel very much alone. So the Sex and the City thing and my work and just like going, there's no place where you can just do this. Mm-hmm. And, you know, coming out of my divorce, I didn't tell my friends. I didn't really talk to my family that I was even considering it or going through it. Yeah. And I just wanted that space. And I was like, I don't want to do therapy. It wasn't what I was looking for. I just need a safe space to like, let it out. And then, and then like feel good about that and know that somebody heard me and validated that, witnessed that. And then I could go on and throughout my day and feel lighter and just not alone.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think there's so much to unpack in that because number one, you touched on the, importance of getting it out instead of shoving it down. And another avenue of that is feeling heard. And so why do you think people don't feel like they can feel safe to unleash? Or do you think it's because the other person doesn't know how to react or how to support them?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. I think for the person who has information to share or a story to tell, they're scared of how that's going to be received. I mean, think about all the times that you're having conversations with people and you're looking for the visual cues. They're like, are they present?
Yeah.
Are they like, oh my gosh, this is the craziest freaking story I've ever heard. Like, what the hell? Or are they judging me? Then usually they cut you off and they're like, whoa, hold up, wait a minute. That can't be right. And that makes you turn inward and go, well, it is right. And it's my story and it's what's happening. So you shut down and you're like, okay, I'm not. And if that happens with enough people, then you sort of learn all right, I can't share my story. I think people mean well. I think time is an issue. Distractions are an issue. If you're the friend or family member, it can be exhausting.
Yeah.
And it can be, I don't want to say the wrong thing. So I'm going to just tell you what I think. Here's my advice. And sometimes that comes with judgment, even though it's well-intended.
Yeah.
And I don't think we ask the question that I ask in my sessions, which is, how do you want me to listen to you? What do you need from me right now? Are you looking for somebody or a safe place to vent and you just need me to hold space for you? Or are you looking for a conversation? Are you looking for feedback? We just jump in and give that. Yeah. And we're not asking, is that even what this person wants from me?
Yeah, I love that question. But I also wonder, do people even know what they want sometimes? And I say that because this whole podcast is about being eager to please and always putting everyone else's needs before your own. So naturally, the reason why you feel like you have to stuff how you're feeling, because sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes it's ugly. Sometimes you just want to cry and you just need to cuss and you just need to get out whatever frustration you're having. But heaven forbid you do that, because then it looks like, your image is not, as wrapped up in a pretty bow like people think it is. So, how are you helping your clients figure out what they need at that time?
Yeah, a lot of them are very surprised by that question. They're like, wait, what do you even mean by that question? And so just breaking it down, because they haven't been asked that.
Yeah.
They haven't been asked that. And they're like, I don't really know what I want. And I said, okay, well, why don't you just start with what brought you here today? What intrigued you about this service? And then they start talking a little bit. And then I can kind of tell from cues, if there's a long pause, and pauses are fine, I will generally at that point say, is this something where you want me to provide feedback? Do you want that feedback? And they're like, no, I'm all set, or I want to just keep going. This feels good. Or yes, I would really love your perspective on this. I have clients who, my sessions are generally an hour. I have clients who will talk for an entire hour. And they're like, oh my gosh, that just felt great to just unload that. I have other clients who are like, I really want more of a conversation. That's what I'm looking for. And I have other clients who are very direct with me. And they're like, I want you to set a timer for 30 minutes. I want you to let me go. Just let me go for 30 minutes. And then at the next 30 minutes, I want to talk about what I just said. Which is awesome. And I love that. But yeah, I think it's an uncomfortable question sometimes, because people are like, well, I don't want to give the wrong answer. Right. There's no wrong answer. And what I have seen from working with my clients, people who've come in for multiple sessions, they censored themselves at the beginning, because they don't want to be raw. They don't feel like they have to look pretty. They not look like physically, but appear together. And the way women are projected as how we're supposed to behave and how we're supposed to be seen. And this polite factor, I was so excited to be on the show to talk about this polite factor of how we're raised to be polite. And we don't want to upset that. But this is your space where you get to be messy and raw, and it can be ugly, and it's okay, and that's totally fine. And seeing clients kind of come in going, I don't know, and then they stop censoring themselves. Like I have a client who, when I first started working with her, she was like, I can't say that. I'm like, no, you really can say it. And now she's like so excited. She's like, it's Erin. I know I can say that. And she's like, I'm not going to stop myself. And I'm like, great. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And if you can have one space where you're able to do that, like how freeing and how much relief does that bring? And it's not going to be in every circle. It's not going to be with every friend or every family member, but to have one space where you can do that. Like I wish I had this. I so wish I had this.
100%. I mean, and it's not just Sex and the City episodes, this is like a real service that you're bringing. That's amazing. So I know every session probably looks different because everyone needs a different release or outlet, but walk me through what a session with you might look like, because I was checking out your website. You have things from verbal smash sessions to clarity sessions to listening sessions and decompression sessions. And how do you know which service you need? Because some of them might blend. You might need 2 or 3 of those. And it's like, how do you choose, and how do you facilitate each different session?
Yeah. So that's a really good question. And I am going through a rebrand, which I know we'll talk about later, but it clarifies some of this because the work generally is the same for me. Like, I don't know what's going to walk through the door. I don't know what somebody is going to bring that day. Even a client I've been working with for a long time. Like, I don't know what they're going to need in that day. So that's why so somebody comes in, and if they haven't done a free consult with me and they're not familiar with the model, they just want to check it out, I'll talk to them a little bit about what I can and what I cannot do. I'm not a therapist. I'm not providing a diagnosis or mental health advice in that way. So I will talk to them about what this space is and what it isn't. And then I usually say, okay, why don't you just pick a word? Pick a word that kind of tells me where we're at right now. Like, what's our jumping off point right now? Right. And a lot of them are saying confused, frustrated, overwhelmed, despairing, hopeless. Like, those are usually the words that I hear when they're coming in. And so we sit with that for a little bit. And then I will say, how do you want me to listen to you today? What does this session look like? And if they don't understand that question, I'll explain that. And then we just get into it. And it's really organic. Like, even if someone says, I just need you to hold space and do the empathetic listening with me for 60 minutes, I can tell just from my training and my trauma-informed advocacy, okay, this person is looking for something from me. So I'll ask them. It's very much driven by the client. Like, what do you need? And so if they choose something at the beginning, it doesn't mean that that's where we're going to end up at the end of the session. Yeah. So it is very organic, and it does change. And people should be absolutely empowered to do whatever feels right for them in that time. And then at the end of the session, like 5 minutes before the session wraps up, check in with another word. Like, where are we at right now? It's okay if your word hasn't changed. There's no pressure. But the majority of the time, people are like, I feel lighter. You filled my hope cup. I went from despair to hopeful. I feel like I can breathe, like those kinds of things. And I'm like, okay, in an hour, just being able to talk to somebody that is listening, where their sole focus is to listen to you and to give you that space to be your authentic self, to say whatever it is that's on your mind. Like, that transformation in just a short amount of time is just so incredible to see. And I'm just so grateful that I'm doing this work and that people trust me with their stories and with their life, really, with what's going on with them. It's a real place to be honest. Absolutely. And I don't know of too many places where you can do that. Be fully honest.
Yes. Without judgment, as you had said before. Exactly. Yeah. So do you work with a team? Do you have a team with you, or is it just you? Okay.
It is just currently, yes. Nice. I have big plans.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I heard you say you also do online sessions. So that means you can kind of cross state borders and things like that, right? So you can go wherever is needed. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I do virtual sessions and in person. I'm in New Hampshire, so anyone local to New Hampshire is welcome to come to my office. But yeah, I offer virtual sessions. I also offer a group vent session on Tuesdays at 7. And that's really great. It's like up to 8 people. You can kind of drop in. It's $20. So, no like big commitment, and it's a different group of people and different themes every week. So we cover divorce, we cover grief, we cover relationships. I'm excited at the end of the week where I'm doing a vent session on joy, and people are like, wait, what is that? Those two things don't go together. But like, people think that this is just a space where the hard things are unloaded or the things that are going wrong. I have people who come to me who are like, hey, I have this really great news that I'm so excited about, but I don't have anyone to tell. Or I want to tell people, but like somebody finds out that they're pregnant. And they're so excited about that news, but maybe they're scared because it's early and they don't want to tell people yet. Or maybe they are best friends with somebody who is struggling with fertility, so they feel badly talking to them about it. So they come and they share these like wins with me and this really good news too. So it's both ends of the spectrum and everything in the middle.
Yeah, no, that's amazing, because balance is so important. You know, when we focus on the negative, it tends to be heavy, but it's also good to talk about the positive too. That's awesome. So what exactly is a verbal smash session? What is what do you do?
Yeah. Okay. So actually, I'm phasing that name out because people are like, "What?" I was going into, the visual of an actual smash room. If anyone's ever been to that, where you throw the plates and you're hitting TVs and actually smashing items. So I was like, oh, this is like a verbal smash room where you just get to, you're putting it all out there. Yeah, exactly. But people, and initially when I first started this business, that was kind of like my tagline. But then people are like, wait, so you're smashing items. I'm like, okay, this is confusing. Hence the rebrand.
That's right. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Maybe that's a great segue into talking about your rebrand.
Yeah, so I am super proud of Seacoast Listening Lounge. And when I first started this, I have no business background. I was like, I have this idea. I came up with this idea in June of 2024 and left my job in July of 2024 and opened in August of 2024.
Wow, that's
so like, here's an idea. Let me just try this crazy thing, leave my job. Like, great, sign me up. And so I was like, all right, Seacoast Listening Lounge, I'm going to have this little space. It's going to be, I'm going to have some people come in and they're going to talk. And it blossomed. It really did. People, from across the country are like, hey, can I participate? How do I do this? I got connected with Fresh Starts. It started getting bigger than and I am so appreciative of my local community, but it's expanding. And I wanted it to be accessible to people all over and for them to relate to it being all over. And I love my logo. It's beautiful. It's so pretty, but it reminds people of a salt cave and a meditation room. And great. I'm happy to provide that quiet, serene space, but it's also like, if you looked at my office, I have pictures of like Victorian era women with graffiti over it, like "Don't kill my vibe." And it's this idea of, and it has always been this idea of, hey, women especially are people pleasers, have been raised to be people pleasers, have been raised to be polite, have been raised to, hey, this is how we need to present. Don't cry because you're going to look hysterical. And then that's going to be a label for you. Like all of these things, all of these pressures. And I was like, okay, well, look, this is like where you can just take what society is saying that we should appear like and just totally throw that out the window and just be yourself and show up how you want to show up. And that's what I love, like those two things coming together. And so I was like, all right, my logo doesn't represent that. The message doesn't represent that. What I'm doing does represent that. The work is exactly the same, but I'm so excited that I'll say my name. I'll say the new name.
Okay, awesome.
So it was Seacoast Listening Lounge, and it is moving to the Unmuted Room.
Ooh.
So yes, where decorum meets disruption.
Love it.
And it's just the website is going to really, the listening sessions are there, but the messaging around who is this space for, and is it for me? And it's for every person that's just like, I need to let this out, and maybe I don't want therapy or don't need therapy right now, or I want to do both, or I'm not looking for coaching, I just need this space. And I think that, for people who are looking for the service internationally, nationally, I think this speaks to them a little bit more. And it also really encompasses the work that I have done from the beginning and the dream that I've had of this space since the beginning.
That's amazing. I'm happy for you, Erin. That's great. That is super. Well, I'm excited to see the rebrand once you get that launched in a couple.
So cool.
Yeah.
It is so cool. It's
very.
I'm really
well. You're excited. I can see you're excited about it. So yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this. I think you've mentioned this a couple times now, that the Listening Lounge is not therapy. So I'm curious to see your take on how it differs, because I'm like you. I did not want to go into therapy. I mean, I was forced to go into it when I was younger because my father had passed away, and my mom's like, this is what you need. You're an adolescent, and you're going to, and I just had since then a bad relationship with it. And I know that therapy can be for some people, and that's great, and they get a benefit out of it. And I feel like I've found other avenues to get out my feelings and thoughts and whatever. And part of that is songwriting. I'm a songwriter. So
I saw that.
Thank you. So I'm curious, how this does differ from therapy for people who are reluctant to go and talk to someone because they are going to feel judged or whatever.
Yeah, I think people are resistant sometimes or scared of therapy because they have an idea in their head of what therapy looks like.
Right.
I'm going to get a diagnosis.
Right.
So, and maybe people are like, I don't want a label on me. Or, and it could be anxiety, it could be depression, it could be OCD, whatever it is. Like, people are like, I don't want to identify with that. And I'm afraid that if I go, that they're going to tell me that. And then maybe I'm going to have to get on medication. Right. It also, I think with therapy, it's not like you can drop in, do it once, and like you're out the door. Like, therapy is meant to be consistent and stabilizing, and people really need that. But there's also a lot of intake forms and a lot of history. And, what people have said to me is, one of the things that I'm resistant about is like, I just want to talk about this thing that's happening to me, like right now in this moment. I don't want to connect it to something that happened to me in the past.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't want to dig into that, or I really don't think that's connected. Like, I'm not making those judgment calls, right? I'm not. It's not my role. So I think people look at this and they're like, hey, great, a space where I can talk and somebody's going to listen to me and be supportive. That's what I'm looking for. I'm very clear that this is not for people who are in crisis. That is not my wheelhouse. I work with licensed mental health workers, so therapists and counselors, and I will have referrals on my new website, which is great. People that I trust, that I can say, hey, look, this isn't a great fit for this model, but here are some people that I trust that I think would be really great to work with. Yeah. And I was nervous when I first started this. I was like, is the therapy community going to say, look, what are you doing? This isn't the right thing. They have embraced me.
That's awesome.
Like, wholeheartedly. Amazing. They're like, this is great. It's another model. It's also for people who maybe want to get into therapy, but the wait lists are really long, or they can't find somebody who is meeting their needs. So like, if you're not in immediate crisis, great, come talk to me. Use it as a bridge while you wait, because you're like, I really need to talk to somebody. Don't sit and suffer.
Exactly.
Like, come and talk to me, still get on the wait list, still make the phone calls. It's also a really great transition for people who have been in therapy for a really long time. And the therapist is like, okay, I think you're ready to graduate, to move on. You have all the tools, but they're scared that, but I've always been talking to somebody and now I'm not going to have that thing anymore. the therapist will refer to me and say, look, she's not a therapist, but she is a safe space where you can talk. So I think this would be a great avenue for you. So it really has worked both ways beautifully. And I would say too that like I have clients who are in both, who see me as a professional listener and who are also in therapy. And I have had clients say, you know, I will say things to you, Erin, that I'm not saying to my therapist because there is, you know, when you go to a doctor's office, just like your PCP, like you want to present a particular way. And I think therapy might even be a little bit more where you're like, I don't want to come across as like crazy because then they're going to think I'm crazy and they're going to diagnose me and they're going to give me medications. And I would encourage people, if that's happening, to have those conversations with your therapist. But I think that is kind of the barrier. I think that's kind of the resistance. So this is kind of like, hey, let me try this. And I'm totally comfortable saying to somebody, I'm not the right fit. Like you might benefit from therapy and here's some great people that I work with. But yeah, I think people come in and they're like, I don't have to have any kind of mask on whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Like I can literally say anything to you. I mean, obviously I have to follow state guidelines, but yeah, like I can show up in sweatpants and my messy hair and be like, I just couldn't shower. I also just will say one more just kind of key thing is if you're kind of going back and forth, feel free to try both. But also if you have something that is preventing you from participating in your daily activities, that's like prohibiting you from participating in your daily activities, that's not a good fit for me. That is somebody who I'd say, okay, that's something maybe you should talk to a therapist about. If you're just like wake up and you're like, I don't feel like getting out of bed today and I want to watch Netflix because I broke up with my boyfriend and today's just a crappy day, then great, call me. We'll talk about it. But I would say that's like, if you're kind of going, I'm not sure, you know, always have conversations with both if that's what you're kind of weighing. But somebody who is like struggling with doing the daily stuff, that would be not me.
More intense, I guess, intervention.
Yeah, and I have people, again, therapy I think is meant to be consistent. I have people who are like, great, I had one session with you. I felt awesome. I was going through this really difficult time. Mm-hmm. In 3 months, if something else comes up, they're like, I'm going to call Erin. I have other people, because I have a membership program. I have other people who are like, I really like the regular consistency of being able to talk to somebody that's neutral, that's unbiased, that doesn't know the players, and I can drop it off with Erin and leave and I'm good.
So let me ask you about that as the listener, because I feel like maybe therapists might feel the same way. When you take on, and maybe you're good at separating, you know, what you're listening to and what you have to filter, but as a woman, I feel like we take on, maybe this is also a stereotype, but we take on other people's things. And so how do you as a listener filter through that so you're not carrying so much heaviness?
Yeah. I think for me, it brings me energy. Mm-hmm. That is not me saying I like feed off of people's misfortunes. That's not it. Right. But for me, so I said earlier that I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor of child sexual abuse. Oh my God. And I worked with domestic violence victims and sexual assault and stalking victims for almost 2 decades. And for me to be able to take in that, knowing what it felt like at various points in my life, of what it felt like to not have that space and to not have that safe person, like that gives me drive. It gives me energy. And so I can take that in. People will be like, Erin, I don't know how you've done this work for so long. Like the turnover rate is so high. Like, how are you not burned out? And people, when I left my job, were like, oh, it must be because you've done this for so long. No, not at all. Like I loved my job and I could have continued doing that work because I know that feeling, and that feeling drives me to never want any other person to experience that.
Yeah.
And so I can take that on. It's kind of like my superpower. And I don't know how else to explain it other than that, but I do believe self-care is important. Community care is important. So if you ever see me at the beach, I love the beach. Just the sound of the waves.
Maybe that's where Seacoast came from. I don't know. They're blending.
Yeah, exactly. I have a wave tattoo. It's like, awesome. It's very much my
zen.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we all need something like that. But yeah, I don't ever feel like I can't take on more. I don't ever feel like somebody's story was too hard. I think just my own experiences and me not wanting anyone else to have that experience, it enables me to be able to take it all in.
Yeah, no, that's so awesome. So would you say that listening in and of itself is like our social responsibility to learn how to hear other people in a way that the other person is feeling validated, I guess?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we can all do a better job at listening. Yeah. There are, things that are seem maybe hard or difficult, but if you practice them, like it becomes second nature. But I also want to honor that some people are like, that's just not, I don't feel comfortable doing that, or I feel like I'm not good at that. That's okay. Recognizing that. Yeah. It's okay to be like, I can't do this. But what you can do is say, I'm not the person to hold the space for you, but here's somebody who can, or set boundaries. Like, hey, I know that this is really important to you and you're important to me. So therefore this is important to me. Wow. But I've got X, Y, and Z going on. I have 30 minutes right now. I have 30 minutes I can give to you, and please tell me how I can listen to you and what you need from me. And I'm here for you. But like, be empowered to set those boundaries. Be empowered to say, we want to be people pleasers. We want to be polite. We want to do the right thing. And sometimes the right thing is saying, I can't do this. Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah. And that's totally okay. And just know what the resources are. Mm-hmm. So that they can have a person, and just that kind of hey, I know that you cared enough to help me find this. And I appreciate that. And that was a huge help.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said that, because I do feel like I've found myself in situations, whether it's with a family member or a friend or a coworker or whatever, and they feel safe enough to unleash with you. Maybe that wasn't necessarily the right time for you to sit and take it all in. And so here you are. I actually wrote a song about this called Boundaries. It's like, I want to help you, and I really do want to listen, and I want to give you my undivided attention, but right now is just not the right time. But I didn't know how to say that. And so here I am that's why I asked the question before, taking on their stuff. And I'm like, oh, now I'm even more stressed out because I'm late for a meeting or this or that. And it's like,
Yeah, right. Exactly. I think setting boundaries does not, I think that's healthy. I think that doesn't make you a bad friend. It doesn't make you a bad family member. It's like, hey, I love you enough to say that I can't give you my undivided attention right now. And I know that's what you really need. So if now is not the right time, when can I do that for you? Yeah. Let's look at our schedules and, try it. I mean, you can't always plan life, obviously, but right. If it, in that moment, just validating, saying, this is important, you're important to me, but I want to give you my attention and I can't right now.
Yeah. Yeah. What are some ways that you found helpful to create those healthy spaces for people to feel honest talking to you?
In terms of in my work and in my...
Yeah, or just in life, because you're a mother, you're a friend, just as a human being.
Yeah, I would say ask a question and ask the question, what do you need from me right now? If you see somebody is really struggling, I really think that question is so important.
I'm tucking that one away because I love that. Yeah. What do you need?
What do you need from me right now? Because they're coming to you because, and I'll say this too, people are looking for cues that they can tell you stuff, difficult stuff. And if they're getting feedback either in, it could be like, hey, Natalie, something happened last night and I'm feeling kind of crappy about it. I would love to like chat with you about it. And if you're like on your phone and you're not making eye contact with them and you're not asking a follow-up question about, oh, hey, Erin, what happened last night? If you're not asking like those kinds of questions, people are assessing, and I know this from my legal work, people are assessing to see if you're a safe person. And so they're dropping little things. And you're going to miss them, and that's okay, because we're constantly distracted. But I think like pausing and saying, oh, I just heard that Erin said something difficult happened last night. And so there's a couple of options. You can say, hey, Erin, this is important to me. You're important to me. Like I said before, I want to talk to you about this. When would be a good time? Because I'm late for a meeting. Or you could say, hey, I have some time right now. I really want to find out what's going on. What do you need from me? Like those kinds of things. Just asking the question. And you're not going to get it right all the time. But if people feel like, hey, this person's going to validate me and not interrupt me, not say that what I'm feeling is wrong, not saying I should have handled it differently. Like, do you want me to vent or do you want somebody to give feedback? Like, those simple things will make such a big difference.
Yeah. Which hat am I wearing today? Right.
Yeah.
Erin, this has been amazing. I feel like everyone needs to know about this option, and just wanted to open up the floor to you to see if there's anything else that we haven't talked about that you might want to share with our listeners.
Yeah. I think I mentioned a couple of times this politeness factor. And I think, from when we're kids, like I know for me, when I was growing up, it was like, hey, when you go to a friend's house, if they offer you a meal, make sure you eat everything on your plate. And so like it's ingrained in us. And even if something is making us uncomfortable in dating, like, oh, am I really like, I need to be polite to this person, but what they're doing is making me uncomfortable. And I really want to push back against that and just say, look, be empowered to use your voice. And if it's not with that person, find a person who will listen to your voice, because you deserve to be safe. You deserve to be comfortable. You deserve to be heard. And don't let kind of these, whether it's upbringing or societal expectations of we need to please, we need to be polite, like don't do that at the expense of what feels good and safe for you.
Yeah. Going back to those boundaries, they're healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. You have been amazing. Thank you for joining us today on the podcast, and let's stay in touch. I'm excited to see this new rebrand. So we will definitely make sure we link everything. Before I let you go though, do you want to share are you able to share your new website, address, and where people can find you on social so they can find you once this launches?
Yeah. So it's theunmutedroom.com. Okay. But anyone can put in seacoastlisteninglounge.com and it will kick to the new one once those are all tied together.
Awesome.
And then I'm moving over my Instagram. I think it's going to be the.unmutedroom.
Okay.
So I think, but that's also switching over. So it's going to be the same account, same people. So if you're following Seacoast Listening Lounge on Instagram, you're going to get kicked over to the Unmuted Room.
Amazing. Well, that's good. That's a nice, easy transition then for you. So you're not relinking everything.
Oh gosh, no. No.
Oh my goodness.
This has been awesome. You're fantastic, Natalie. This was a lot of fun. Thank you
so much. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.